We're all chasing that elusive ideal of well-being, aren't we?
Yes, definitely.
But let's be honest, it often feels like just wading through this dense fog of, conflicting gurus, dubious
Oh,
detoxes.
absolutely. And promises of quick fixes.
Exactly. Promises of instant transformation that just fizzle out. It feels like our health is this battlefield of extreme diets, grueling routines,
Yeah.
leaves you feeling exhausted, right?
Yeah.
And no closer to the actual goal.
Mm-hmm. Totally drained.
So today we're aiming to cut through that noise.
Good.
Our mission in this deep dive is to explore a really refreshing perspective. It's a book that, honestly, it dares to challenge the whole premise of a lot of modern health advice.
Which one is this?
We're diving into how to maintain health. It's part of a broader series, Everyday Habits for Lasting Well-Being. And it's just remarkably straightforward.
Okay.
It's not about these huge efforts or hitting some mythical perfect state. It's really about the subtle art of consistent daily choices. It champions this beautifully balanced approach that I think you'll find, well, not just insightful, but genuinely liberating. Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, what's truly fascinating here, and I think often overlooked, is how this book's focus on gradual change.
Yeah.
It directly pushes back against our human tendency for instant gratification.
That's a great point. Our brains are wired for that immediate reward, aren't they?
Exactly. Which makes us vulnerable to those sensationalist quick fixes, the ones promising rapid results, even if they're completely unsustainable.
Right.
So this book's approach, this sort of sober, consistent way, it isn't just different. It's actually a subtle reframing. It taps into a deeper understanding of how sustainable behavioral change really works. It gets beyond the flashy headlines to build a foundation that actually lasts. And that's precisely why it matters so much right now with all the information overload we're dealing with.
And at the heart of that foundation, the book argues is, well, it's balance.
Okay, balance. We hear that word a lot.
We hear it all the time, yeah. But what How to Maintain Health makes really clear is that it's not just some buzzword. This isn't a guide telling you to, cut out entire food groups or go on a juice cleanse.
Or kill yourself at the gym 7 days a week.
Right, none of that. Instead, it really champions balance as the absolute cornerstone of lasting well-being. It feels like a return to fundamental principles, not chasing trends. But, in a world that often demands extremes for those quick results, how does this steady approach actually convince us it's not just slower, but ultimately better, more effective? What's the hidden power in that balance?
I think it's precisely in that holistic, interconnected nature. That's where the power lies. The book breaks down this balance across 4 key pillars: healthy eating, regular movement, proper rest, and managing stress effectively.
Okay, the big 4.
The big 4. And what's often underappreciated is just how linked they are. Like, chronic stress doesn't just mess with your head, right?
Right.
It can profoundly affect your digestion, your sleep quality, even how your body stores fat. And if you neglect sleep, well, that can completely derail your healthy eating habits. It messes with hormones, increases cravings.
It's a cycle.
It's a total domino effect. And the book implicitly gets this by treating these 4 pillars as like a single ecosystem. You nurture one part, it supports the others.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, and it explains why so many people get frustrated with fad diets, They often just target one tiny piece of the puzzle.
Right, like just cutting carbs or something.
Exactly, which leads to this unsustainable, incomplete approach that just falls apart because it ignores the whole intricate web of our physical, emotional, and honestly, even our social health.
So, okay, with this focus on a holistic, balanced lifestyle, how does the book make sure its advice isn't just, aspirational? How does it become actually doable for everyone?
That's the key question, isn't it?
Yeah, because for me, that was where its accessibility really stood out. For those of us who've, sifted through countless health articles and books, what sets How to Maintain Health apart is its amazing ability to boil down complex health ideas into stuff you can do right away without ever feeling like it's dumbing it down.
Right.
It's just clear. For anyone, regardless of their background. It doesn't bury you in complicated science or dense medical terms. Instead, it explains core concepts in such plain, clear language that you almost don't notice how much solid info you're absorbing.
And that strategic simplicity, that's exactly what makes its practical advice so effective.
Yeah. How so?
Well, the book tackles really core topics: balance, nutrition, hydration, exercise, but it breaks them down into incredibly simple, yet really potent examples and tics you can actually use.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so it's not just saying drink more water. We all know that.
Right. Heard it a million times.
But it offers practical, almost invisible ways to weave it into your day. Like just keeping a water bottle on your desk as a visual reminder. Or making a habit of having a glass before every meal.
Simple stuff.
Super simple, because the biggest barrier usually isn't knowing what to do. It's doing it consistently.
True.
So the book cleverly uses these small environmental cues instead of just relying on sheer willpower. Same for nutrition. It focuses on adding good stuff, like maybe incorporating one extra vegetable into your lunch rather than super restrictive rules.
Addition, not subtraction. I like that.
Exactly. And it consistently reinforces that health isn't just physical. It highlights how crucial good sleep is for your brain, for recovery.
And mental well-being too, right?
Absolutely. For emotional resilience. It's about acknowledging how deeply connected our physical, emotional, and social health really are. That makes it a much more comprehensive and, frankly, relatable guide for building habits that actually stick.
Okay. This brings us to what I think is the book's most impactful and, honestly, most refreshing piece of advice. This is where it really fights that feeling of, oh my God, I had to change everything overnight.
Yeah, that overwhelming feeling.
Totally. It's the unwavering focus on small, realistic, gradual changes. It almost sounds too simple, doesn't it?
It does sound simple. Maybe too simple for some.
Maybe. We're often conditioned to think that huge results need huge effort, right? But how to maintain health just directly challenges that. It's not about the giant leap. It's about tiny, consistent steps forward.
Why do you think that specific advice? Why is that the real breakthrough here? What's the, behavioral wisdom behind why these tiny shifts are so powerful?
Well, it's revolutionary precisely because it taps into some deep psychological principles.
Okay.
This strategy is incredibly smart because it makes the advice feel genuinely achievable and therefore sustainable long-term. It gets around that very human tendency to just give up when things feel too big or overwhelming.
Right, the all-or-nothing trap.
Exactly. Behavioral sciences talk about the minimum viable action, making a change so small you basically can't say no to it.
Huh, okay.
And the book nails this with concrete examples, like swapping just one sugary drink for water each day.
Just one. Or adding just one extra serving of vegetables to your plate. It might seem insignificant by itself, right?
Yeah, tiny.
But the real power is in the compounding effect over time.
Like compound interest for your health.
Precisely. Think of it like making a tiny deposit into your health savings account every single day. Individually, they're small, but over weeks, months, years, they add up to profound systemic change. And it's not just about the action itself. It's about building the identity of someone who makes healthy choices. That fundamentally shifts the game.
That's interesting. Shifting identity.
Yeah. And this whole approach dramatically cuts down the chances of burnout or just throwing in the towel.
Which raises a big question, I think. How often do we totally underestimate the power, the cumulative effect of these small, seemingly insignificant steps?
Probably all the time.
They add up silently but powerfully, creating real transformation. It reminds me of, steering a huge ship. Tiny adjustments to the rudder, if you apply them consistently, will eventually take you somewhere completely different. That's a great analogy. Now, it's also worth pointing out the book's scope, right? While it's incredibly practical, accessible, gives these profound insights in simple language, it does intentionally stay kind of surface level on the really detailed stuff.
Right, it's not diving deep into the biochemistry.
Exactly. So if you're listening and you want really in-depth medical explanations or granular scientific studies or, highly specific nutrition plans for a unique condition, this might not be the book to scratch that specific itch.
Fair point.
It's not trying to be a medical textbook.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important distinction. But why is that focus, this sticking to the fundamentals, why is that actually a strength, not a weakness for the people it's aimed at?
Precisely. Because its simplicity is absolutely a deliberate feature, not a flaw, especially for its target audience.
Who is that audience, ideally?
Well, this book really serves its purpose beautifully for someone who's looking for a clear, motivating, easy-to-follow guide to either kickstart their health journey or maybe re-engage with it if they've fallen off track.
Okay, without feeling totally overwhelmed.
Exactly. In an age where health information can be just paralyzing in its complexity and contradictions, How to Maintain Health offers a crucial antidote.
Yeah.
It's perfect for getting that initial understanding, building some momentum. It gives you the foundational knowledge and that gentle but firm push to start making positive changes without getting lost in the weeds of complex scientific debates.
Right, avoiding the paralysis by analysis.
Totally. It understands that for so many people, just getting started or getting back on track after feeling defeated, that's the biggest hurdle. So by stripping away the complexity, it lowers the barrier to entry and builds confidence. And that confidence is just invaluable as a first step in any lasting health journey.
So when we boil it all down, what does this all mean? If we distill everything we've talked about from how to maintain health, what's the big message? Because it feels incredibly powerful and honestly quite encouraging.
Yeah, it really is.
It feels like something that could fundamentally shift your whole perspective on well-being, moving you away from striving for some impossible ideal towards something sustainable, everyday progress.
Absolutely. The core message that how to maintain health really hammers home, and I think it's the most important insight for anyone trying to achieve lasting well-being, is this. Maintaining health is way less about achieving perfection and far more about consistency in those small daily choices.
Consistency over perfection.
That's the mantra. It's about showing up for yourself, even in tiny ways, but doing it every single day. And that single piece of knowledge, it liberates you from that impossible standard of perfection that so often leads to burnout and self-criticism.
Yeah, beating yourself up.
Exactly. Instead, it empowers you. It helps you understand that every small, consistent, positive choice, no matter how minor it seems in the moment, really does contribute to your overall health journey.
It adds up.
It adds up. It transforms health from this daunting, far-off goal into a manageable, ongoing process, one that builds resilience and momentum over time. It's truly about understanding that progress, not perfection, is the key to genuine, lasting well-being.
And there you have it. I mean, this deep dive into how to maintain health, it really shows us that lasting well-being isn't hiding in grand gestures or extreme sacrifices or those mythical quick fixes.
Right.
It's found in the profound power of balanced, everyday habits and the silent magic of consistent small changes.
Yeah.
It's just an empowering, practical approach that cuts through all the confusion and offers a truly sustainable path forward.
Right. And that leads us maybe to a final thought for you, the listener, to consider.
Okay.
If our well-being really does come down to these simple, consistent choices, how often do we complicate it? Perhaps completely unnecessarily, always searching for the next big thing.
That's a good question.
You know, what's the real cost of always chasing the new, the extreme, the rapid transformation? Well, maybe the most effective path is just consistently applying the simple things we already know work.
Yeah.
So maybe take a moment to think about where in your own life, maybe it's your diet, your movement, your sleep, how you handle stress. Where could these small daily choices make the biggest, most impactful difference for you starting today?